Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Beeson and welcome back to my channel, and today I thought it would be fun if we did like a little wrap up of the 2024 fashion, since this is the last video I will be doing of the year. So I thought it would be fun to do a best of 2024 with red carpet fashion or event fashion, kind of just that general thing. So I picked kind of my top 15 looks of the year. There are a lot more that I absolutely loved. These are just my favorites. So without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Okay, so starting off with Lisa at the VMAs, she wore custom Mugler, and I absolutely loved this look. I love the hood, I love the draping across, I love the gloves, I love the color on her. She looks very good. I love the exposed boning. Everything about it is so good to me, and I absolutely loved it. And realistically, this was the only look that I liked from that entire show. Very Mugler. I love it. All the styling, everything about it is absolutely perfect, and I just love it. Next is Brie Larson, and this was from the Emmys, whenever that happened, and she wore custom Chanel. And I have said in the past that I'm not like a huge Chanel person. It's very hit or miss. I'm very like specific about the things from Chanel that I like, and I absolutely love this dress. I love the blue. I love the embellishments on the top part. I love the little bow. I love the kind of like the paneling, the smaller little panel, and then the lower one, which is the skirt. I love the length. I love the dress so much. I hate the shoes, but I'm not going to talk about the shoes. I just thought this was a really strong Chanel look, especially when like a lot of Chanel looks kind of all look the same and they're very Chanel. This doesn't feel overly Chanel, but it looks so good, and I just really loved it. But I like the silhouette probably the most, kind of that more vintage shape, but I just loved this, and this was one of the best looks, and for the Emmys, one of the only good looks in my opinion. So, and then we have Margot Robbie in Balmain for the Critics' Choice Awards. And this dress, a variation of this dress, was first worn by Zendaya during, I think, the first Dune movie promo. It was brown, and I loved that dress, and I love this version of it. Obviously, it's very different. It's got the roses. It's red versus brown, but I love that the dress, it's all leather. It's all shaped and sculpted. I just love that the leather looks like it's wet. It's such an interesting illusion for such a thick and kind of stiff fabric. It just is such a pretty dress, and she looks so good. And it was nice to see her not wearing like pink during this time, because this was still like award season for Barbie. So it was nice to see her wear red instead of black or white or pink. So it was a nice little switch up, but I just love this dress, and I love that there's another iteration of the brown dress that Zendaya wore. And obviously it was like a top on the runway, but I just love this dress. And then next we have probably one of the best things that has been a part of any of the fashion-y events or whatever for this year is Carey Mulligan, and she wore custom Balenciaga for the Oscars. And what makes this so iconic is the fact that it's a recreation of the same 1951 gown, and I love it. I love the historical thing. I love that they recreated it for this and for her, and she looks so good in it. There isn't much to say because this dress is so perfect, both the original and this recreation. I just love that they did it, but she looks so good with the little trumpet and the black, and then everything about this is so good. And it feels, obviously it's a recreation, but it definitely feels old Hollywood, even though it is essentially that from when it came from. But I just loved this dress, and I loved seeing something old being pulled and recreated, not being worn again, but being recreated, and it was done very tastefully, and I love it, and I think she looks so good in this dress, and it was a winner, one of the best dresses of 2024 in my opinion. And then we have Taylor Russell in Loewe at the BAFTAs, and I really like this dress because it's so interesting to look at. The shape of the bodice and the torso, and then all of the feathers on the hip, wrist, and then the end of the dress on the hem. I just love the shape, and Taylor Russell is like one of those girls that's gonna wear fashion pieces. She's pretty fearless from what I can tell, and she's always giving a moment regardless of whether or not you like them. It's always a moment, and I think this dress is probably, to me, her best moment of this year. It's just the dress, the look that I liked the most. I love the white on her, I love the neck, I love the styling. Everything about it is just so pretty and so interesting and not basic, and so that's why it's so good to me, and I absolutely love it. I think I like the feathers the most, but I just love the shape and the look of this entire dress. It's so good. Next is Bella Hadid for the Cannes Film Festival this year, and now this particular look is the Versace look that she wore. I could have put all of her other looks, but I didn't want to because this one is my favorite, and she is also like one of the best people for the film festival. She always, when she's actually on the carpet, she always looks amazing. So this Versace dress from this year is my absolute favorite. I also like the brown and then like the champagne color, but the black one, this one is my favorite. And I just love the shape of the dress. I love that the skirt is all glittery and stripy, and I love that this part is all more like a tulle and it's very cinched in. I love shape, and I just think she looks so good, and one of the best looks from this film festival. And obviously it's several days, so there's lots of looks, but I still think that this one was by far one of the best looks of the entire event. But I just think that she looks so good. I love the styling, I love everything, I love the shape. It's just a very good dress, and it's not crazy too. It's relatively simple, but it's interesting to look at, especially when you have the bodice part and then the sequined skirt part, and then there's that shape that pulls the dress together. It just looks so good, and I absolutely love it, and I love seeing what she has to wear, particularly for film festival, because she always does perfect. So this is just another good one, but the best one of this year. And then moving on to kind of a bundle of looks from the Met Gala specifically, because obviously the Met Gala is probably the biggest fashion event of the year. And so for the Met Gala, I have 4 looks that I loved and were the best ones, and to me were some of the best looks of 2024. So the first one is Elle Fanning, and she was wearing Balmain, and this was my favorite look of the entire Met Gala. It was on theme, so there's that, and then she looked amazing, and the dress itself was so interesting with like the birds sculpting on the shoulders, and just the texture of the fabric and the way that it sits and everything, just so good and so good. But it hit the theme, which is the most important part, so it was an absolute winner to me, and I just love. And it's like she played Sleeping Beauty, and it gives Sleeping Beauty to me kind of. So it makes sense that she, and too, like the theme was kind of like Sleeping Beauty, so it makes sense that she's got like one of the best looks ever. But Elle Fanning is totally a fashion girl, so this makes sense, and I absolutely loved it. And then second one is Ariana Grande, and she was wearing Loewe, and I know that some people thought this dress was boring from what I remember, but I actually really liked it. I like the shape, I like the bodice, I like the little draping on the hip and then flowing out. I love the pastel colors. I do think that it is simple and it's not a crazy dress, but it's super, super pretty, and I love the pastel-y, the very faint pastel-y colors, almost like it's iridescent, kind of like that. Those are the same colors that you're seeing, and I just think she looks very good in it, and I love the shape of it, and it's like trying hard without actually trying too hard, and I think it works for the Met Gala. I thought it worked, and it was better than a lot of the looks that were there. I can feel the theme in it. It's not super obvious, but I can feel it, and I just think it was really good and one of the best looks. To me personally, it was one of the best looks. And then number 3 is Kendall Jenner, and she wore Givenchy by Alexander McQueen, and I love this dress. Everything about it is super interesting. It's completely different from what everyone else was wearing, and she looks good in it. I love the shape of the torso and the bodice and the neckline and the little fringe and everything. It's just such a good dress, and obviously it's something that Alexander McQueen did, so it's also got that level of amazingness because it was when he was with Givenchy, and I just love it, love it, love it. So good. Kind of, it fits the theme. It was just so good, and like out of her family that went there, hers was by far the best one, but that wasn't very hard considering what everyone else wore. But this is hands down one of the best looks of the Met Gala. And then the last one from the Met Gala is Tyla, and she was also wearing Balmain, and this one was 100% also completely a winner because it's literally the theme. Wearing a dress made out of sand, sands of time, Garden of Time, that kind of thing. It like hit the theme right on the head, and she looked so good. I loved the shape of the dress. It's sculpted, it's sand, so it's gonna be really tight on her body. I love the way that it sits on the floor with the train and everything. I love the little accessory with the whatever it's called. What is it called? Let me flip it. Whatever. That thing, the accessory of whatever that is. She just looks very good. And I know that her look, I love the Elle fanning one. This is probably second best, or they could be tied, but they're both Balmain, and Balmain knew exactly what they were doing when it came to this theme and the looks that they were doing. There was a conceptual idea to it, and it all just made so much sense. And Tyla's look was one of the best ever, and it was so good, and it was on theme, and she looked great, and I absolutely loved it. All right, next is 2 looks that Kaia Gerber wore. The first one is from the LACMA Art and Film Gala, and she wore Gucci, since Gucci is, I believe, a sponsor. They put it together so most people wear Gucci, but hers is the green look, and I remember when I first saw this, I was just like, wow, it's so pretty. I love the way it moves because it's all fringy, and so it just sways as she does any little movement. The styling is super simple, and I absolutely love it. I love the color on her. I love the shape. It's not crazy, but it's just so pretty, and it kind of gives a little vintage feeling in terms of like maybe hitting more of like the 20s with the fringy and the movement. That's what it kind of felt like to me, but I just love the combination of the green with her skin tone and then her brown hair. It just all looked so good. And in an event where most people are wearing Gucci, there were a few others that I liked, but realistically to me hers was the best one, and it's one of the best looks of the year because it's just such a pretty dress and it's not trying too hard, and I like that about looks. And then the next one for Kaia Gerber is at the Academy Gala, and she wore vintage Givenchy, and this is totally My Fair Lady, and I absolutely love it. I love the black. It's literally My Fair Lady. It's literally a black version It might not, like, I don't think it's the exact same dress, but it's the same person that made it. Givenchy made it. But in My Fair Lady, Audrey Hepburn wore a white version of it, and this is just a black version of it, and I love it. Styling again is good. She looks like a mini Cindy Crawford, which makes sense, and it is just so good. I just love that vintage stuff is being worn a lot more, and it's just so good. She looks so good. I just love the nod to Audrey Hepburn, My Fair Lady. It could be the same dress, but it doesn't look exactly the same. But it's like a sister, and I absolutely love it. And it was so good, and one of the best looks of the year. I keep saying that. To me it is, but it is so good, and I love it. And the last grouping of looks that I have for 2024 is, they're all from Zendaya, because of course Zendaya is a look phenom when it comes to just having fashion statements, and obviously a lot of that is to her and La Roche. They're just one of the greatest combinations of fashion ever. But my favorite looks of her this year all come from the Challengers press tour. I just loved everything about that, and I love things from Dune, but Challenger stuff was probably my favorite. And so the first look that I have is the green check look from Louis Vuitton, and I love it. Love the color, love the white, everything about it. The styling is really good. It's like very 60s, but like the good type of 60s. It's not the type of 60s that I don't like. It's like a 60s that I can get with and I like. It's like mod adjacent with the shape of the jacket dress thing, and I just love the green check, and I love that it's like not overly crazy when it comes to the visual and the styling and everything, but she looks good because she always looks good. I love the bright white and the heel, obviously her So Kate's, because that's what she always wears, and she just looks so good. And I loved the blonde too, so the blonde was also really solid. I just loved it, and this is probably my favorite of all of the challengers, but I have two more that I also really loved. And the next one is the white hooded Alaya dress that obviously the Challengers movie is sort of like around tennis, so it's theming, of course. I just loved how simple this dress was, and I loved the hood, and I love that the entire dress that goes all the way down to her ankle, it's like just a massive hooded t-shirt, because down at the hem you have that little like hem knit line that polo shirts have. It has it down at the bottom, and it has it on the sleeves and the hood and everything. I just love this look. It's so simple. I love Alaya, so I loved seeing this, and it was just so good. She looks so good, but again, who are we talking about? And it was just a nice kind of like modern kind of comfy switch up that people probably weren't expecting, because I wasn't expecting something like this, and this was just a golden moment of fashion. And then my last favorite look in general, but then for Zendaya, is the Tom Brown look that she wore to one of the premieres. I don't know which one it is. It's the, you know, the long braid with the Tom Brown red, white, and blue down on the small part of the panels at the hem of the dress, with the little tennis racket embellishments kind of all over the place. I just loved this dress. I love that it's to the theme of the movie. It's very Tennessee, Tennessee, not Tennessee. It's very, it gives tennis, which is what the movie is. And I love the red lip, everything. I love the top and how it looks like kind of like a tennis uniform. Adjacently, kind of, it's got a collar. I don't know if tennis outfits have collars to them. And then it comes in, and then it drapes down a little bit. And then there's the bow kind of at the hip, and then it just flows down into kind of like the sporty open panel skirt of the dress. And I really loved it, and it's a good good play on the tennis aspect of the movie, but it is still so fashion, and I love it. And again, it's Thom Browne, and Thom Browne kind of usually always wins on a red carpet. Doesn't matter what the event is, so this is just another winner to me, because I absolutely love Thom Browne, and I love this dress, and I think Zendaya looks so good, and she looked good the entire press tour, but these three were my absolute favorites. And those are my top 15 best looks of 2024 that spread across a variety of different of the major kind of events, whether they're award ceremonies or film festivals or like literal fashion events. These are just the ones that stood out the most to me, things that I remember the most, or even like looking back at a lot of these events, they were the only ones that I really liked, and collectively they make up kind of the fashion moments that I like and remember from this year. There were lots of other looks that I didn't include, but I did really like, but these are the peak for me. And I think that overall 2024 was a relatively good fashion year. There were lots of moments across the entire year, and I love just seeing what everyone was wearing, kind of being introduced to different designers that I didn't ever really pay attention to over the years, and now I'm paying attention to them, kind of just learning more about other smaller designers and these bigger brands that, again, I either am very specific if I like, or I just don't generally like, but I'm learning to kind of accept them a little bit more. It's all about the creative direction, and I think that a lot of these too, because these are obviously all celebrities, I think that their styling for these specifically were good and solid, and I just hope that 2025 brings more fashion moments and everything is like different and unique, and like we're not getting a lot of the same boring stuff. I don't want to see that, and I want people to push the envelope with fashion, and I just want to see at the events that it's like supposed to be fashion. I want there to be fashion, but we'll see. But let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts were on the 2024 fashion love hate. Let me know. And with that, this is the end of the video, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and because it is the end of 2024 and my last video of the year, just want to wish everyone a happy holidays, whatever it is that you're celebrating. Have fun, be safe, and have a happy New Year's as well, and I will see you in 2025. Bye!